Hey folks, welcome back to Anish Learns to Code. Today I will discuss why you should not care what percentile, what rank you get on LeetCode. So if you are familiar with the LeetCode platform and if you have ever submitted any solution on LeetCode, you know that you get a percentile rank. The first is how much faster was your program for this particular problem compared to all the previous past solutions that have ever been submitted on LeetCode. So let's say that your solution took 8 milliseconds, whereas a bulk of solutions, like 75%, 80% solutions took less than 8 milliseconds. That means that your program was only faster than 20% of all the solutions that have ever been submitted to LeetCode. So the percentile rank that you get for your code, for your solution is 20%. The same also applies to memory. Every code that we write does consume some memory in RAM in our computer. It takes up some space. So let us say that you submitted a solution on LeetCode which was accepted. It passed all test cases, but it consumed 50 kilobytes of data. 50 kilobytes is a very large number, but I'm just eyeballing it over here, just taking random examples. And let's say that most of the time people have consumed maybe less than 50 kilobytes of data. So the percentile rank that you get for your memory consumption is 30%. That means your program consumed less memory than 30% of all programs ever submitted on LeetCode, but more memory than 70%. So this can be very disheartening that maybe what we have done is not very optimized. It's not the best code. And we should always take this in stride. We should always try to improve our code. That is not the message I want to convey in this video, that there is never room for improvement or we should not try to improve ourselves. We should always try to improve. We should always see whether something better can be done. Having said that, please keep in mind, on LeetCode, whenever you submit your program, it will not display the same number every time. So if you receive a percentile rank 30%, you will not receive the same rank every time. You can submit your program 5 times in an interval of 5 seconds, and after every 5 seconds you will receive a completely different rank. It can be 30%, then 33%, 90%, back to 34%, 35%. So LeetCode is a little erratic in this manner because it is getting many people from around the world are submitting problems, so it cannot distribute the same amount of resources and test with the exact same amount of resources for every problem. So the test is not the most accurate. So first of all, whatever number you're getting is not the most accurate, so don't fret so much. And the second most important point is that not everybody follows LeetCode. For example, if there is a problem on LeetCode which clearly states that for this problem do not use strings, so using strings would be a very optimized solution. Maybe by using strings, our program can be very fast, our program can be very memory efficient, and maybe someone like me did that. They said, screw LeetCode, I'll write my code, I'll write my solution with strings, I'll use less memory, I'll take up less time, why not? This is not wrong. And then we'll submit the code. People like me, I'm blaming myself. And then the time taken will be extremely less, the memory footprint will be extremely less. Then someone good comes along who will actually read the rules, who will actually try to improve himself, herself, and follow the rules as defined by LeetCode. So they would say, okay, we have to solve this problem and not use strings. So I will dig deep, I will find the solution that does not use strings. That solution will be correct, that solution will be optimized, but it will consume more memory than my solution, which should have been wrong, and it will take up more time than my solution. If this were an interview with a real living person, they would have rejected me because they would have said that I explicitly said to not use strings, but you have used strings, that is wrong. Whereas the other person, who probably took a few more milliseconds than my code or like a few extra bytes than my code, would pass the interview because the interview gave him some constraints and he wrote a solution with those constraints in mind. So when we are on a programming platform like LeetCode or any other platform, it is much more important to stick to the constraints because you are there to learn and to make sure that all test cases pass. If if you're complying with all the constraints on LeetCode and all test cases are passing, your solution, your code is 100% correct. Do not be perturbed. Do not worry about the percentile score that you get. So that is all I wanted to say in this video. Focus on the solution, focus on the algorithm, focus on the mathematical time complexity so that you can prove that this is actually optimized, and focus on making sure that all test cases pass. As long that's done, as long that's there, nothing else is required. Thank you very much for having me. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.